on this edition of Cavalier Sports Weekly.
We've indeed found that match, and this afternoon I could not be more pleased.
Here's the first pitch to Fraser. This ball will be a single to right field. Steven Fraser delivers the game-winning RBI.
Welcome to Cavalier Sports Weekly. I'm Emily Fraser from the women's tennis team. We have a great show for you today, starting with our play of the week.
Here's the first pitch to Fraser. This ball will be a single to right field. Steven Fraser delivers the game-winning RBI. 4 touches home plate. The Who's complete the comeback.
We have a saying, you never know which one, you never know which run is going to be the winning run or which one, how many runs it's going to take to win the game.
We have a special quality about us that, separates us.
Stay tuned. Virginia game highlights are coming up next.
Swung on and missed it, and there's a great-looking strikeout and a much-needed one for Danny Holtzen.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the show. Our baseball team is ranked #1 in the country thanks to great hitting, pitching, and defense. This week they hosted Georgetown, Coastal Carolina, and the Duke Blue Devils.
Here's the 1-1. This one's going to get past the catcher. Johnson has it go underneath the glove. Sliding in, feet first from third. It's Chris Taylor of the Who's. Strike first. It's 1-0 on what goes a wild pitch to James Heine. Next pitch going to be driven deep to left center field. This ball's got a chance. Fraser puts a drive into it. It's over the left field wall. It's gone. A 3-run bomb from Steven Fraser, his third of the season in Virginia, has staked down to a 4-0 lead with one swing of the bat. Barr will score from second. Hicks scores from first. And Virginia out in front with a 4-run lead. And boy, there was no doubt about that one. The Rain wins, and so do the Cavaliers. 4-0, this one's in the books. We're going to call it a night early, though. Cavaliers up their record now to 32-3 for the season with a victory tonight against Georgetown.
Now the payoff pitch. That's a called strike 3. Now the check over to second base. Not in time. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
The reason that I started him tonight was he didn't have a great outing at Georgia Tech, and I wanted to get him right back out there, and get him some more innings, get him feeling good about himself against a really good opponent, and so it worked. And hopefully he can catch fire a little bit and really continue to pitch good, consistent baseball.
Pitch is swung on and lined down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is fair. Coming around to score easily will be Steven Fraser. Jared King will glide into second base with an RBI double, and the Cavalier lead is now 3-1. Thompson comes set, looks into Hicks for the sign. He'll check it first. They got him over there.
Orden, the batter, he draws a bunt down the third base line. Bare hand snag by Fraser.
Uncharacteristically of us, we didn't do the job out of the bullpen. We've pretty much done the job all year out of our pen, and we didn't do it tonight. That's what I think makes this win all that more special.
Here's the pitch. Ball is fisted. A shallow ball. If it drops in, it's trouble. It does! Falls in front of the right fielder Bowman. 1 run is in. Now the play at the plate. He is out.
You have the kind of record that we have because you have good players that play well, but you also have to have something special about you. And we showed again tonight that we have a special quality about us that separates us.
We have a saying, you never know which one, you never know which run is going to be the winning run or which one, how many runs it's going to take to win the game. So, Brandon, he gave up 2 runs, but he battled for us and got us out there with just just letting up 2 runs. And it's a lot easier to come back from 2 runs than it is from 3 or 4.
Scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth after you gave up the lead in the top of the ninth. Truly impressive. To think about, this kid has had 30 decisions in his career, and he's won 28 of them, is just remarkable, and shows that not only is he talented, but he's obviously very, very consistent with that talent.
Danny Holtz's going to try and silence him, and he will right here on a nice-looking off-speed pitch. It gets Betts swinging and missing.
This is the adjustment I think that he's made on a consistent basis from his freshman and sophomore year, is that he's consistently pitching us deep into the ball game every time out there, and that's because he's managing his pitch count better. He's not giving the other club a lot of opportunities, which allows him to be strong there in that 6th and 7th inning, and he's going to need to continue to do that for us.
Runner at first, runner at second for the Wahoos here in the 3rd. He swings the next pitch, drives this one up the middle. There's a base hit for Barr. It's going to score one from second as Harrington comes around 1-0 on an RBI single from John Barr. The Who's strike first.
They're intelligent and it can make adjustments good enough that they see what a pitcher's doing, they can make that adjustment quickly, and then the next time around the order, they have a plan for what they're going to do.
This one's hit hard. It's going to right center field, and it's another hit. John Hicks will get a runner home from 3rd. Rounding 3rd base is Barr. He's going to throw on the Jets and score all the way around from 1st, and Virginia leads 3-0 on the RBI double from John Hicks.
Now the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Holtzen strikes out the side.
He started to settle in and throw his changeup for strikes and locate his fastball better. And, I don't like talking about this because the kid just threw a shutout and had 9 strikeouts and gave 4 hits. Again, what's our level of expectation here, but when you're that good and you're that good consistently, that's what people are looking for.
Lumbo delivers this pitch, can be swung on. That's through the hole and a base hit. The throw coming in from left field will be cut off by the 3rd baseman, and Virginia adds 2 more to the tally on the Chris Taylor RBI single. Right-hander against right-hander here, as the pitch will be swung on. Bouncy ball hit up the middle. Taylor, nice grab, flips to second for 1, on to first, call it 2. And here's the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and this one's over. A near-perfect showing from the Cavaliers in Game 1, 10-0. The Wahoos will take care of business against the visiting Blue Devils of Duke.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by UVA Health Systems.
Our number 1 ranked men's tennis team hosted ACC rivals Clemson and Georgia Tech this weekend. Let's check out the matches.
A 2-time singles All-American, last year he became the 2nd player in school history to be ranked number 1 nationally in singles. He is twice played the NCAA Singles Championship, reaching the semifinals in 2009 and the round of 16 last year.
It seems like we've been here forever, but it also seems like times flew by so quick. And we feel like we've excelled at a great pace, and we feel comfortable with what lies ahead. And it means a lot to be a Virginia Cavalier and play for Virginia for 4 years. And we had a great experience, and we're really looking forward to the end. Playing each year is so different, and that being said, you only really get one big shot at the NCAAs, and that would pretty much be a dream come true for me. We've invested right now close to 4 years of a lot of our time here, and I know, speaking for Sunham too, that we're 2 pretty unselfish guys, and the team means everything to us, and we're going to do our best to try to get it. We have a lot of guys that can play in a lot of positions. Today we were missing Alex and Drew, and those guys like Santi and Justin and Julian are doing a great job in the bottom, and I think it really gives us a lot of confidence when we can put guys on the court who are not regular guys playing and to go there and do their job. And it's pretty impressive to play the last few matches with a few guys missing and to get 4 points against a couple quality teams. It's definitely a big bonus just in case. You never know down the stretch if a guy could get injured during NCAAs, and whoever is going to be next in line will be ready to play. And we're really lucky in that it definitely helps us.
put on the orange and blue. These guys have bled it for 4 years, and you go out and you do all those things, and you leave it on the court for your friends, your teammates, your program, and your fans. But first and foremost, Mike wants to know.
Great job, Mike!
We knew coming into this match, playing them 3 times last year, that they were going to be a tough team. We just made up in our minds that we were going to come out and fight.
Georgia Tech's 15 in the country for a reason. You know, and they showed it today by the way they competed, how competitive the match is. Certainly, we weren't at 100%, but with that being said, I give Georgia Tech a lot of credit. They have an amazingly competitive team who came out fired up, ready to play, and I thought played a really good match and pushed us extremely hard throughout the lineup, starting with doubles. So, you know, they're 15 in the country, and they deserve to be 15 in the country.
The key is just to stick with it. I mean, deal with the ups and downs and kind of stay in there with it. So, I mean, it's either try hard or go home.
Oh, yeah.
Our men's lacrosse team had another big ACC road game this week when they traveled to Durham, North Carolina to face Duke. Here's the game story.
A storm is brewing south of the Old Dominion. Today, the Virginia Cavaliers walk right into the teeth of it as they take on their old rival, the Duke Blue Devils. It's the battle for the ACC regular season crown, and the air is thick with tension.
Be ready to step up and make a play, step between those lines, make something happen. You need to do it as a group, the things we talk about every day. It only happens if we do it together.
Here's Chris Clements down the right pipe, feeds out front. Colin Briggs loads up, fires, and scores. Chris LaPierre picks up the ground ball, and here comes Shocker in, top of the box, slams it in.
We got off to a slow start. I didn't really see that coming in the locker room. They were very alert to the loose ball. Certainly, having a little change maybe in personnel at the offensive end affected us some early. But that's we just should have been better. And like I say, you just can't. This has been a little bit of a trend with us, giving away some time early in the game, and we got to figure it out.
Gittleman ball rolling out of bounds, race for it. Chris LaPierre. O'Reilly feeds right side. Shamel Bratton low to low rip, and he puts the ball in the cage.
He wanted to try to play, and he came out and ran around the field a little bit this morning. But he just clearly is not quite ready to do this, and so we made a cautious decision. But at the same time, like I say, there was no chance he was going to be able to get out there today.
Crossfield pass finds Briggs, who tucks it home. Bachlet running the break, feeds out front. Colin Briggs fires and scores. Aldi donates to Ramel, loads up that right hand, and he ties the game at 7. Ramel Bratton strokes it from 10.
In the third quarter, I think when that game was being decided, we had a couple of really good chances on the cage that we don't drop, and that might have made a big difference. They were doing a pretty good job shooting the ball and converting their opportunities, and we weren't doing the same there in the middle of the third quarter. And I think that's ultimately what made the difference. It was just too much for us to make up as the game wore on.
Here's Colin Briggs, unleashes from 10 off the left pipe on the rebound. Bachlet puts it in. Here's Shocker flying in, top of the box, switches right hand, rocks the net. Chris LaPierre.
I still think our best lacrosse is out there, and I think the way that we played is indicative of who we are. We're a team that practices hard and gets after it. We just got to be sharper. We got to find a way to get sharper. We just haven't played as well as we think we're capable of, yet. And I like to think that game is still out there for us.
Coming up after the break.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Virginia Athletics Foundation.
This week, Joanne Boyle was introduced as Virginia's women's basketball coach. Let's meet Coach Boyle in our next segment.
On March 12, approximately 27 days ago, the process started to find a new leader for the University of Virginia women's basketball program. It would have been very easy to have just settled and to have hired a coach maybe after a week or two. But instead, we wanted to make sure that we found a fit. We've indeed found that match, and this afternoon I could not be more pleased.
Don't talk about what you have done or what you're going to do. Mr. Jefferson's instruction is timeless and well taken. The University of Virginia's storied history of excellence and the remarkable people responsible for it compelled me to humbly accept the responsibility of being UVA's next women's basketball coach. Thus, my comments today will focus on the people responsible for the university's and women's basketball program's tremendous history and promising future.
She talked a lot about having a transition team, which that's great because we are a transition team. That's something we've always liked to do. I think that our team's able to adjust to adversity well. So whether it's a completely new system or whether it's some similarity to the one that we've had these past few years, I think that we'll be able to learn it and get it right, hopefully, as quickly as we can. But just what she stands for and who she is and the confidence she seems to have in her players and the energy she brings is something that we'll feed off of. So even if it's not going well one day or if stuff is hard, she seems like the type of coach that'll lift you right up and you'll be able to play, even more for her because of her drive and passion.
Yeah, the ACC's challenge, it's an athletic conference and big post play and big guard play and a lot of up and down. And so I've always tried to have running teams. People like to push and transition, always been a defensive-minded coach, rebounding. I think you have to tweak your offense according to the personnel you have, so always looking. I try and study the game as much as I can. But just evolve as a coach and a person and a player. Yeah, when I was a player, just trying to evolve as much as I can, but play up tempo. As long as we have some depth, which I've never really had in the past, is a lot of pressing when we can, and just play it aggressively.
On the court, it's all business. Off the court, then we can be personal, come to her at any time. And I think that it's important to have that kind of relationship. She told us that she is crazy about academics, so, that's definitely important to us, too, especially since we're at the University of Virginia. So just the fact that we know that she's going to care about us on and off the court is just a good feeling.
That's how I approach life, and I try and instill that in my players, what that means, and just to be humbly thankful for everything that's given you. I know that, walking in a building like this and young student athletes a lot of times think, oh, everybody gets this. And it's not that way. And there's so many people that would love to be in all of our spots. And you have to approach each day as just being as thankful as you can. And when you're in the grind, be in the grind together. And when you're on the mountain, be on the mountain together.
And everybody was just really excited. We're happy, a new beginning. Everybody has a clean slate. We're just really excited about her.
My goal is to do the best I can and win as much as we can and build a sustaining program and build a championship team. So that's always, that's always the goal. People always ask, what's the timeline? I can't tell you. I got to get a staff and a team together and start working with them and instill discipline and work ethic and confidence. And, when you do that, then anything can happen. But my goal isn't to come in and, just be average.
Seven of our spring sports are away at ACC championships this week, but if you're a baseball or softball fan, we've got some exciting home games for you to check out. Baseball entertains Radford on Tuesday and Richmond on Wednesday before hosting NC State Friday through Sunday. And our softball team has a big weekend series against Georgia Tech with a twilight doubleheader on Friday and a noontime game on Saturday. We'll be back next week with those stories and more from Virginia Athletics. I'm Emily Fraser. Thanks for supporting the Cavaliers, and remember, go Hoos!
Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico, the Virginia Athletics Foundation, the Virginia Lottery, and by UVA Health Systems.